Hallo, hi. Wie geht's? So my name is Jonathan. Ich heiße Jonathan, and this is going to be another live language lesson. I've already done about a half hour of Spanish and a half hour of French this morning. So this is the third one for German, which seemed to be one of the more popular requests from people in the Facebook group that I admin. So today we're going to take a look at a presentation here. I'm going to go on to on here, and so let me just get started with this, and just a second here. Let me double check. I think I'm getting a message on here. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to share the screen now. So there may be some. Hopefully, there won't be problems here for the screen share. Hopefully, this works. So, okay, I'll have to double check, see if the screen updates, and I hope it does. So let me know if you can see the screen. Yeah, I think it's switched back. Yeah, I think it's switching now. Okay, so who am I? I'm Jonathan. I'm an American teacher from Southern California. I've been living abroad since 2002. I lived 6 years in Paris, and I've lived in Mexico City for 8 years now. I first started learning some German. I was at the high school, but my high school didn't have German, so I started taking lessons at a local community college. So I went there, and I was studying 3 languages at the same time. I was studying fourth year Spanish, second or third year French, but it was my second year of French. And I started a basic conversational German at that time. And then I continued to take some German classes at the university for German 1. And then also at another university, I took another intermediate level German. And I then took like a German film studies course as well. So I did about 3 years of German at the university. And in my last year of high school, I visited Germany and Switzerland for the first time in 1999. I remember having just learned a few expressions with German at the time, and I was really excited to be in the airport in Frankfurt, and then to be visiting Geneva. And in the airport, I remember asking everybody, like, "Haben Sie die Uhrzeit?" Just like, "Excuse me, do you have the time, or do you know what time it is?" Actually, nobody answered me. They just showed me their watch, so they realized I was a foreigner. But I was really excited to be able to practice some of the German. And then when I was living in France, I made a trip to Germany for about a week, and I visited Heidelberg, Frankfurt, Erfurt, Eisenach, and Weimar, and I had like an all-you-can-travel train pass for 5 days, and it was really cool. I remember waking up in one city, having lunch in another, and then going to bed in another city, and then doing the same thing the next day. And so I was able to visit so many different small towns in such a short amount of time. And then before I left Europe, I visited Vienna for a couple of days, and again was practicing my German and visiting there. So I had a great time, and but unfortunately, I haven't gotten so much of a chance to practice my German as much as I wish I had. So these lessons are a way for me to kind of review and revise and help teach people some of the basics. And there's an expression that I really love about teaching, is that when one person teaches, 2 people learn. So that's why I really love sharing the knowledge that I have, and it's also a way to help me review and revise things that I have learned in the past and would like to keep up to date. So in these courses, we're going to be looking at kind of A1 level. So the A1, according to the Common European Framework reference, is being able to kind of make yourself understood in a simple way, asking and answering some simple questions about some personal details. If you're talking to somebody who's able to speak slowly and clearly and is able to kind of help you, you can take part in a basic conversation. Your answers may be a bit short and simple, but at least you can still take part in a brief conversation. And another way that is described here is just talking about familiar, kind of everyday topics in very basic phrases, just to be able to communicate and to be able to introduce yourself or to ask and answer some basic questions about personal details. And for example, where you live, the people you know, the things you like to do, or your possessions, things you have. And again, you can take part in some really basic, simple conversations. So that's what we're going to be trying to get started here. So we're going to be looking at kind of self-introduction here. So, hello, that's a basic way to say hi or hello. And a way to kind of ask somebody how they're doing or what's up. Wie geht's? Wie geht's? It's basically like a how's it going? Wie geht's? Ich heiße. This little symbol here, that's called an S-set, and it's basically like two S's, a double S. So this is like my name is Ich heiße Jonathan, and I can ask somebody what their name is. Wie heißt du? So this is the informal du, like a person I would be on friendly terms. So somebody who's my peer, or somebody who's my same age, or maybe even somebody who might be younger than me, like a child, or perhaps even younger than me, or as a student as well. If I want to introduce a friend, like somebody who's a girl or a friend who is a boy, I could basically kind of point to them and say, like, I'd like to introduce you to my friend. So I'd say, das ist meine Freundin. Freundin is the feminine here, and there's an E for the feminine, and this din is this feminine form, or das ist mein Freund. So that is my friend, a male friend. And I can ask, what is his name or what is her name? So wie heißt wie heißt sie? Notice that this heißt, it actually doesn't change for this this do form and this er form. Normally in other verbs there might be a small difference, but in this one heißt, it's basically the same here. So if I was starting the sentence, I could say heißt, sie heißt. And freut mich is a way to say, like, it's a pleasure, it's nice to meet you. And similar to what I had done in the Spanish and French, I could ask a question like und du, if I'm asking the same question. And if I were saying ich freut mich, I could say mich auch is a way to say, like, me too, like it's a pleasure for me too to meet you, or likewise. If I was being asked where I come from, this woher kommst du, as ich komme aus, and for example, ich komme aus den Vereinigten Staaten. So I'm from the United States. And ich wohne in Mexiko-Stadt. So I live in Mexico City. So to connect those two sentences, where I live, like the wo wohnst du, I could say I come from the United States, but aber ich wohne in Mexiko-Stadt. So ich komme aus den Vereinigten Staaten, aber ich wohne in Mexico, in Mexiko-Stadt. Okay. If I happen to live in the same place where I'm from, you say ich komme aus Berlin und ich wohne in Berlin. So I could have a und for the and. Okay. So once we get our introductions taken care of, we can move on to getting the conversation a little bit rolling, kind of breaking the ice here. So I could ask somebody, was magst du gern? Was magst du gern? Ich lese gern. So I like to read. Ich reise gern. I like to travel. Ich liebe Filme. I love movies. Ich höre gerne Musik. Ich mag Sport machen. Ich koche gern. I like to cook. So there's a couple differences in here you might notice. There's gern, there's gerne, that's another variation. There's mag, there's liebe. So there's a bit of a variety here in German where you can say, this is a way like an kind of an adverb to say I like doing something. Love, ich liebe Filme, I love movies. Or this gerne, so it has another, like an E form, that's another variation on gern. Or mag, which is kind of like I like of the verb mögen. So ich mag Sport machen. So you can use mag with a verb, or you can use a verb with an adverb like gern. I won't really get into too many of these details, but just want to show you that these varieties exist in German. So just be familiar with them if you hear them, and you can see them in different books and different listening files and websites. So once we establish the things that somebody likes, we can get into some more specifics to kind of keep the conversation going. So what exactly do you like to read? So was liest du gern? So was magst du gern? Ich lese gern. Und was liest du gern? So what do you like to do? I like to read. And what do you like to read? So I can use the like. Ich mag Romane und Geschichten. So these Romane is a plural form of novels, and Geschichten is stories. So wo is where, and this W, it's like a V sound here. So wo magst du reisen? So where do you like to travel? So ich mag nach Deutschland reisen. So notice we're putting the verb here at the end. So ich mag Sport machen. Ich mag nach Deutschland reisen. Or I could even put the verb lesen here. So like ich mag Romane und Geschichten lesen. So I could put I like reading novels and stories. I could put that, or I could just put I like novels and stories. And okay, and which movies do you like? Welche Filme magst du? Ich mag Abenteuerfilme. So ich mag Abenteuerfilme. I like adventure movies. So notice that these nouns, music, Filme, Sport, Sport, these are with capital letters. So all nouns, tennis, Abenteuerfilme, jazz, rock, these all have Romane, Geschichten. These are all written with a capital letter in the German language. So all nouns are with a capital. Welche Sporte magst du machen? Ich spiele gern Tennis. So what sports do you like to play? I like playing tennis. Welche Musik hörst du gern? Ich liebe Jazz und Rock. So what kind of music do you like to listen to? I love jazz and rock. So these are some of these basic things to get a conversation started. So why don't we kind of just improvise a little bit of a conversation and try to get this going. So hallo, wie geht's? Mir geht's gut, danke. Und bei dir? Mir geht's gut, danke. Wie heißt du? Ich heiße Peter. Ich freut mich, mich auch. Und du, wie heißt du? Ich heiße Stefan. Es freut mich. Woher kommst du, Peter? Ich komme aus München. Und aber ich wohne in Berlin. Genau. Und woher kommst du, Stefan? Ich komme aus Hamburg, aber ich wohne in Frankfurt. Sehr gut. Peter, was magst du gern? Ich lese gern und ich reise gern. Was liest du gern? Ich lese Romane und Geschichten. Und wo magst du reisen? Ich mag nach Deutschland und Frankreich reisen. Und du, Stefan, was magst du gern? Ich höre gerne Musik. Ah ja, genau. Welche Musik hörst du gern? Ich liebe Jazz, Rock und klassische Musik. Ah, sehr gut. Und liebst du Filme? Ja, ich liebe Filme. Welche Filme magst du? Ich mag Abenteuerfilme und ich mag Filme auf Französisch und auf Englisch. Ah, sehr gut, sehr interessant. So, as you can see here, you can kind of improvise some of these phrases and get a conversation going, even if it's just in your mind. You can practice this, or you could do this on paper. And some links that I would recommend using are wordreference.com, also wiktionary.org. You can take a look at like conjugations of verbs and nouns with declensions, especially in German, since you have the four declensions of the nominative, accusative, genitive, and dative. This can be very useful to see those declensions in the language. Also, using italki.com is a really good website for the notebook entries. You can write 2 notebook entries per day, and you can get some feedback from native speakers. And I would also recommend using speakpipe.com, this voice recorder. And on there, it connects to the microphone for your webcam or smartphone. And you can record yourself for about a few minutes. And if you can share this link to your SpeakPipe audio file or to your italki notebook entry text, you can share this in the Facebook group that I admin, or you can share this as a comment on this YouTube video. And if there are native speakers or fellow learners who can give you feedback on your speaking, on your pronunciation, on your grammar, and also on your writing, on your spelling, it's a good way to get feedback and to also get to know other people. So these are some links that I would recommend using. And so thank you for watching this brief introduction for German. And if you have any comments about the video, especially if there's something about my pronunciation or some of the grammar, I appreciate that as feedback, since I need to keep reviewing my German and keep practicing it. So thank you very much for watching, and see you soon. Take care. Tschüss.